No matter what, they just keep innovating. SpaceX engineers never cease to amaze us with their incredible upgrades to the Starship system. Right now, at the new launch pad under construction below the new OLM I mentioned earlier, an unprecedented innovation is on the way. The dual flame bucket! How exciting is that? So, what exactly will the system look like, and how will it supercharge our launch efficiency? Let's dive in and find out in today's episode of Great SpaceX. As part of its ambitious plans, SpaceX aims to complete its new launch system known as Launchpad B by January 28th next year. Just a few months ago, SpaceX astounded the aerospace community by finishing the launch tower stack in an impressive 6 weeks. This rapid progress underscores SpaceX's commitment to pushing the boundaries of rocket technology and operational efficiency. Now the focus shifts to ramping up work on the surrounding systems, including the Orbital Launch Mount and the protection system, which are crucial components for the successful operation of Launchpad B. In contrast to Pad A, which employs a water-cooled steel plate system to manage the intense heat and pressure generated during launches, Pad B will utilize a more traditional flame trench design, a method commonly seen in many established rocket systems. This effective approach has already demonstrated its capabilities during various launches at the Massey test site. However, SpaceX is innovating further with a groundbreaking concept called the dual flame bucket, which promises to significantly enhance the system's efficiency and performance during rocket launches. To help visualize this innovative design, the talented Chrome Kiwi team has created an impressive 3D model shared on X, showcasing the intricacies and engineering marvel behind the dual flame bucket system. A huge thanks to them for their dedication and artistry in producing these stunning images. Be sure to follow their X page to support their remarkable work and encourage them to create even more captivating visuals in the future. Now let's delve deeper into the mechanics of this pioneering design. The flame trench will be strategically situated beneath the test platform, featuring an inclined structure that optimally redirects the immense forces generated during launches. It consists of a rectangular frame that accommodates the incline, connecting to a C-shaped section that links the incline to the ground. Once assembled, the trench will be reinforced with concrete to ensure stability and durability under extreme conditions. Additionally, it'll incorporate a manifold system designed to supply water for test support, further enhancing its capabilities. This ingenious design effectively redirects the heat and pressure generated by the rocket away from the ground, preventing damage, something we witnessed during Flight 1, where the launch pad's integrity was put to the test. The added water system will significantly reduce heat and pressure, creating a shower effect similar to what we experienced with Pad A, ensuring that both the rocket and the launch infrastructure remain safe. What's particularly exciting about the new flame trench compared to Pad A's water-cooled steel plate system is its potential for long-term use. While the steel plate has exhibited wear and tear after multiple launches, the flame trench is better equipped to handle the demanding operational cycles of the new OLM, ensuring enhanced durability as SpaceX prepares for thousands of annual flights and solidifying its position as a leader in commercial spaceflight. The dual flame bucket system has been validated through numerous successful tests with ship prototypes at Massey, establishing a solid foundation for upcoming Launchpad B tests. Illustrated in Chrome Kiwi's image, the plan includes constructing an additional flame bucket opposite the OLM, positioning it centrally. When ignited, the power will be evenly distributed, creating a visually stunning effect as dust billows outward like giant wings surrounding the Starship. This innovative system is crucial for future rocket testing and launches. Currently, the Massey flame trench is used solely for static fire tests of the ship, while Super Heavy is tested at the launch site. The dual flame bucket represents a significant advancement in SpaceX's approach, optimizing launch operations and enhancing safety by effectively managing the massive energy flow from Super Heavy, leading to quicker turnaround times. Are you excited about this innovation? If so, comment dual in the comments section down below. Like, share, and subscribe to stay updated on SpaceX's journey as we near the completion of Launchpad B. In addition to boosting efficiency, the dual flame bucket system also presents an exciting potential for long-term use. With the increase in efficiency, the amount of damage sustained will be reduced, allowing for extended operational lifespans. Following the success of Flight 5, we can expect Starship flights to become more frequent. SpaceX is gearing up to increase launch rates to fully realize landing and reusability, establish refueling systems, test Starship HLS, and so much more. At Starbase, SpaceX has proposed a bold plan to launch and land 25 times in the near future. After that, we might witness a dramatic increase in flight frequency, preparing for the first Starship mission to Mars within 2 years, a manned mission in 4 years, and eventually building a Mars base. To meet this escalating demand, many new launch pads and flame trenches will be necessary. However, the dual flame bucket will serve as the foundational system for all future designs. Beyond accommodating launch frequency, the long-term capabilities of the dual flame bucket will shine as new Starship versions are developed. If you think the current Starship is already astonishingly powerful, with a liftoff thrust exceeding 7,000 tons, twice that of the Saturn V, just wait until you see what's next. Musk recently mentioned that the new launch pad is already designed for the 10,000-ton thrust version, which is almost exactly 3 times more powerful than the Saturn V moon rocket. SpaceX has now unveiled V2, which is anticipated to use the Raptor 3 engine, delivering a sea-level thrust of up to 280 tons per engine. Excitingly, the first V2 prototypes are already in production and are undergoing testing. At this pace, we might see only 2 more V1 flights, with V2 potentially launching early next year, perfectly timed with the progress of Launchpad B. Looking ahead, SpaceX plans to create a towering 150-meter-tall V3 version. This iteration could utilize the Raptor 3 or a future engine, boasting 330 tons of thrust. With that kind of power, the Starship's liftoff thrust would soar beyond 10,000 tons. Of course, achieving such milestones will require even more robust launch pads than the current Pad A system and the testing setup at Massey. I've been pondering what systems will meet Musk's ambitious requirements, and it seems that the dual flame bucket might just be the perfect solution. That said, this new system will come with some challenges. First, the flame trenches will need to be excavated much deeper and wider, taking up significant space. If SpaceX intends to build more systems like this in the future, a major expansion of Starbase will be essential. But this presents a challenge with government and environmental agencies still in play. Let's see how SpaceX tackles this hurdle. Wrapping up the SpaceX segment, let's dive into an exciting update from the Artemis II mission. Recently, the 4 Artemis II astronauts Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Koch, and Jeremy Hansen practiced a crucial contingency operation, opening the side hatch of their Orion spacecraft. As they gear up for the moon mission, this training is vital. If all goes according to plan for the scheduled September 2025 launch and round the moon mission, the astronauts will keep all hatches firmly shut. However, embarking on the first human lunar mission since Apollo 17 in 1972 necessitates a laser focus on safety, just in case. NASA stated, during normal mission operations, the crew will not operate the hatches. The ground systems team at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida will assist the crew into Orion at the launch pad, then close the hatch behind them prior to liftoff. After splashdown in the Pacific Ocean, recovery teams will open the side hatch and help the crew to exit. Importantly, both the astronauts and their backup members have undergone training on the hatch system. This ensures that they can safely enter and exit the spacecraft in an emergency. Normally, the side hatch is opened using a manual gearbox system, but in an emergency, the hatch is equipped with release mechanisms that contain small pyrotechnic devices. These devices instantly release the latch pins on the hatch, allowing it to open quickly, an essential safety feature. Given that NASA's systems are currently showing several risks, this preparation step is crucial. For instance, NASA is considering whether to replace the heat shield on Orion, as it plays a significant role in the overall roadmap. Additionally, the mobile launch system, part of the exploration ground system, has experienced delays. Concerns are also mounting about the SLS request due to poor contractor performance, which raises issues regarding schedule, quality, and cost. As we approach the end of 2024, we have less than 2 years left until Artemis II. The pressing question is, can NASA get everything ready in time? If delays persist, do you think this ambitious project should be reconsidered? Let's spark a discussion in the comments section down below. Absolutely thrilling news has emerged. The details surrounding the successful Super Heavy catching attempt have just been unveiled, revealing a more dramatic narrative than one might expect. In another noteworthy update, there's surprising information regarding Crew 8. One of the crew members has been hospitalized. However, there's no cause for concern. Everything appears to be stable. Additionally, Bill Nelson has expressed concerns regarding Elon Musk's recent conversation with Russian President Vladimir Putin. The flight 2 weeks ago surpassed all expectations, especially during the thrilling moment when Super Heavy was successfully caught by the Mechazilla arm. However, the road to this remarkable achievement was paved with challenges and fascinating behind-the-scenes stories. Recently, during a casual gaming session, Musk revealed some of these details, seemingly intentionally adding an extra layer of excitement to the event. When a participant jokingly asked, "Did you just share Starship data, Lamau?" Musk casually responded with a simple, "Yeah," hinting at the complex dynamics at play. Specifically, a Super Heavy B-12 came alarmingly close to aborting its catching attempt, a revelation that was unexpectedly uncovered through audio captured during the game rather than from the gameplay itself. In this audio, an engineer mentioned that the issue with Super Heavy might have stemmed from a misconfigured parameter or spin pressure, likely linked to the performance of Super Heavy's Raptor engines, which failed to increase thrust as anticipated during the crucial landing phase. This led to a sobering reflection from the speaker, who noted,
"And we were 1 second away from that tripping and telling the rocket to abort and try to crash into the ground next to the tower."
This statement suggests that the complication arose during the final stages of descent when Super Heavy began its landing sequence. The severity of this issue rendered the option of a controlled water landing impractical, thereby necessitating a ground landing instead. Had an abort scenario unfolded, the consequences could have been catastrophic, potentially leading to a massive explosion right at the launch site. This would have significantly impacted the surrounding infrastructure, particularly the tank farm crucial for future launches. As the speaker emphasized,
"Wow. Knew we had a whole bunch of new aborts and commit criteria that we tried to double check really well, but I think our concern was well placed, and one of these came very close to biting us."
This close call serves as a stark reminder of the inherent risks involved in spaceflight, even amid remarkable successes, underscoring the importance of meticulous planning and real-time problem-solving in the pursuit of groundbreaking aerospace innovation. In fact, it appears that the parameter issue had been a point of concern prior to the flight. The audio revealed discussions about potentially delaying Flight 5 to allow for more time to verify the aforementioned parameters. This implies that Flight 5 was in a position where it might not have launched on October 13th as initially scheduled. Fortunately, that delay did not occur. It seems the problem that led to the abort of the catch attempt manifested only in that brief moment. This suggests that these incidents were not entirely unexpected, but were anticipated and addressed by SpaceX. A SpaceX official mentioned in the recording that they had completed the data review for Flight 5 the day before, including comparisons to previous aborts and predictions for necessary adjustments. Ultimately, Super Heavy was able to slow down effectively, navigate properly, and then successfully land with the assistance of the chopstick system. However, these incidents must be resolved moving forward, both visually and in terms of rocket progress. There is a strong desire for a successful landing by the Mechazilla arm. Upgrades will be essential to mitigate potential risks and enhance the stability of future landings as SpaceX progresses toward its next objectives. In addition to the parameter issue, the audio also shed light on another concern related to damage incurred during this flight: the sheen. According to a SpaceX official, the issue with the sheen was recognized prior to launch. Specifically, he stated,
"We wouldn't have predicted the exact right place, but this cover that ripped off, was right on top of a bunch of the like single point failure valves that like must work during the landing burn. So thankfully none of those or the harnessing got damaged, but we ripped this chine cover off over some really critical equipment right as landing burn was starting. We have a plan to address that.
The issues raised in this audio have significantly enhanced our understanding of the journey B-12 has undergone and the challenges behind the remarkable feat we witnessed. More importantly, this information will provide valuable data for SpaceX as it works to further upgrade its systems for future efforts. This upgrade process will likely take place in the near future with Super Heavy B-13 and Ship S-31. SpaceX has just completed the static fire test, during which both stages of Flight 6 will be thoroughly examined and improved before being brought to the launch pad for the integration test. Among these upgrades, we can expect enhancements related to the parameters and the sheen. Regarding the timeline, the Flight 6 mission appears to be on the horizon. Following the B-13 test, Musk remarked, "Flight 6 is coming up soon." We also need to pay close attention to the FAA's procedures. The good news is that it seems the path to Flight 6 will be significantly smoother than what we experienced a few months ago. First, from SpaceX's perspective, it appears they will maintain the Flight 5 process for Flight 6 to demonstrate reliability. In other words, SpaceX will likely prioritize reducing risks on the next flight rather than expanding the ship's operational envelope, while the ship-catching attempt is scheduled for next year. On the FAA side, the agency stated during the approval of Flight 5, "The FAA determined the changes requested by SpaceX for Flight 6 are within the scope of what has been previously analyzed. Specific changes have not been disclosed yet. However, we can be confident that Flight 6 is drawing closer." In addition to hardware preparations, SpaceX is also taking steps regarding the approval process. One insider noted,
"We're not taking as much time as we might ideally want to have like a very luxurious, like really study everything, but given this is the first launch in a long time that we've not, well, really ever, that we've not been FAA driven, so we are trying to go do a reasonable balance of speed and risk mitigation on the boosters specifically."
Based on the current progress, we can be optimistic that hardware testing will occur early or mid next month. If everything goes smoothly, the license will likely be issued shortly thereafter. This strengthens my confidence in the November 23rd prediction for Flight 6. Of course, I respect your predictions, but let's rally together and say, "Ready, go!" to show our determination. Then, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel to continue following SpaceX's exciting journey of development. Now, let's turn our attention to an update regarding the health status of Crew 8 members. After several weather delays, Crew 8 successfully returned to Earth on the morning of October 25th, showcasing the reliability of SpaceX and its spacecraft. However, one crew member was hospitalized and is currently in stable condition following an unspecified medical issue after splashdown. In a statement released on October 25th, NASA reported that an unidentified astronaut experienced a medical issue after the Crew Dragon's splashdown in the early morning hours off the coast of Pensacola, Florida. This astronaut is in stable condition under observation as a precautionary measure at Ascension Sacred Heart Pensacola Hospital. All 4 Crew 8 members were transported to the hospital for additional medical checks after undergoing routine post-flight examinations on the SpaceX recovery ship. NASA added, during routine medical assessments on the recovery ship, the additional evaluation of the crew members was requested out of an abundance of caution. To respect the crew members' medical privacy, NASA stated that specific details about the individual's condition or identity will not be disclosed. The astronaut experiencing health issues will remain at Ascension for close monitoring, while the other 3 crew members are expected to return to Johnson Space Center soon. We hope for a swift recovery for the astronauts, especially the one facing health challenges following their incredible journey of up to 235 days in space. Let's all send our best wishes to them in the comments section down below. And now, let's turn our attention to Bill Nelson's concerns regarding Elon Musk's conversation with Russian President Putin. At Semaphor's World Economy Summit on October 25th, Nelson was asked about a report from the Wall Street Journal, which stated that Musk had conversations with Putin over the past 2 years, confirmed by reputable sources. One significant issue raised was a request from Putin for SpaceX not to activate Starlink in Taiwan due to Russia's support for China. SpaceX later responded to this claim stating it was false as Taiwan had not granted SpaceX permission to deploy Starlink, making the issue unrelated to Russia and China. Nelson expressed his skepticism, saying, After this statement, the NASA administrator refrained from further criticism and instead emphasized the important role of Gwynne Shotwell, who has worked closely with him. This situation highlights the need for open communication between influential figures in the U.S. aerospace sector like Musk and Nelson. Strengthening these interactions could help mitigate misunderstandings arising from misinformation and ensure the United States maintains its stability in the competitive space race. Get ready for an adrenaline rush. In a dazzling display of engineering prowess, just under 2 weeks after the triumphant Flight 5, the iconic launchpad starbase roared back to life with a breathtaking static fire test of Booster 13. With Flight 6 looming in the horizon, excitement is at an all-time high. But that's not all. SpaceX has just reached a milestone, celebrating the monumental 100th launch this year with the ever-reliable Falcon 9. And across the globe in China, a jaw-dropping SpaceX replica has just made its grand debut, capturing the world's attention like never before. After B-13 arrived at the launch pad on October 22nd, preparations for its static fire test were clear, especially with the announcement of road closures. By the morning of October 23rd, B-13 had been lifted onto the Orbital Launch Mount. Once in place, the scaffolding was removed and additional systems were tested to ensure readiness. On October 24th, with chopstick and ship quick disconnect systems secured, final preparations began. By 1 p.m. Central, the road closure was in effect and the pad was cleared. By late afternoon, the OLM and tank farms were venting significantly as fueling began. Frost levels on the booster quickly rose, especially in the liquid oxygen tank, which filled faster than the liquid methane, indicating an upgraded fueling process. Liquid oxygen was eventually fully loaded, while methane reached roughly a third of its capacity. At 7:11 p.m., the water deluge system activated, followed by a powerful ignition of B-13's engines. Frost on the booster reflected the flames, creating an impressive glow around the OLM. Like previous tests, the engines produced a strong layer of dust and smoke that covered the surrounding area. Based on the observed thrust and the test's duration and approximately 9 to 10 seconds, it's likely that all 33 Raptor engines fired, generating an estimated thrust exceeding 7,000 tons, demonstrating the booster's formidable power. Once the engines shut down, detanking began and the road reopened around 9 p.m. With no reported issues on the pad or with B-13, the test concluded as expected, marking the completion of all B-13's individual testing. Now it stands ready for the next stages in its launch preparation. In the coming days, B-13 may be transported back to the production site. SpaceX has scheduled brief road closures for October 25th from 10 in the evening to 12 midnight, and again on October 26th from 12 noon to 3 p.m., likely in preparation for moving the booster from the pad to the factory. Once back at the Mega Bay, B-13 will undergo post-flight evaluation, with particular attention given to its engines following the recent test. These engines will likely receive upgrades to improve navigation, deceleration, and safe landing capabilities. For the next flight, B-13 will likely be caught by the Mechazilla arm, as demonstrated by its predecessor B-12, in order to validate this landing method. Additionally, SpaceX will need to address the warping issues seen with B-12's engines, an essential step to making these engines reusable. Beyond the engines, other systems like the grid fins will also require upgrades to prevent any minor damage during flight. The grid fins, like the engines, play a crucial role in guiding the booster during challenging landings such as those with Mechazilla arm. In the near term, SpaceX may also add a hot staging ring to B-13. A similar component from B-12 was recently recovered in the Gulf of Mexico, although it showed some warping. Still, it remains in reasonably good condition. SpaceX plans to enhance the system before installing it on B-13. After these upgrades, SpaceX will likely roll B-13 back to the launch pad, potentially alongside its companion S-31 for integration testing. Having completed its own separate testing, S-31 may soon join B-13 on the pad for the next stages of preparation. The static fire test for B-13 was completed less than 2 weeks after Flight 5, setting an impressive pace. At this rate, integration tests are likely to occur in early to mid-November, with Flight 6 potentially launching in late November or early December. SpaceX's momentum with the Starship project is wrapping up an extraordinary year, laying essential groundwork for even more ambitious milestones in the coming years. Key tasks such as booster catching, building the refueling system, and advancing the Starship HLS program are all vital steps toward preparing for NASA's Artemis III in 2026, followed by Mars missions in the years beyond. But first, there's Flight 6. What are your predictions for the launch date? Drop your thoughts in the comments section down below. I'm sticking to my previous guess of November 23rd, which is also Gwynne Shotwell's birthday. Will it turn out to be prophetic? Let's find out together. Don't forget to like, share the video, and subscribe to stay up to date on SpaceX's incredible journey. Next, let's dive into an exciting update on a significant milestone for the Falcon 9. At 1:13 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time on October 24th, SpaceX launched a Falcon 9 from SLC-4E in California, carrying a new generation of spy satellites for the U.S. National Reconnaissance Office, or NRO for short. This mission, dubbed NRO-L-167, highlights the ongoing collaboration between SpaceX and the NRO. Following a smooth ascent, Falcon 9's first stage returned to Earth approximately 8 minutes after launch, landing precisely on the drone ship Of Course I Still Love You stationed in the Pacific. 167 marks the fourth launch under the NRO's proliferated architecture, a constellation of smaller, resilient satellites designed for enhanced capability and durability. Previous missions under this initiative, 146 in May, 186 in June, and 113 in September, were also launched aboard Falcon 9s. In addition to its mission role, this Falcon 9 launch marked several important milestones. The booster B-1063 achieved its 21st launch and landing. Now among the leaders in SpaceX's booster reuse record, B-1063 steps into the spotlight, following the retirement of top performers like B-1061 and B-1062. This mission also marked the 105th landing of the Of Course I Still Love You drone ship and SpaceX's 358th booster landing overall. Perhaps the most impressive milestone, this launch marked Falcon 9's 385th mission and its 100th flight of 2024, making it the fastest SpaceX has achieved 100 Falcon 9 launches in a single year. 100 launches in a single year, an unprecedented achievement in rocket history, is what truly distinguishes Falcon 9 from its competitors. This remarkable milestone not only highlights SpaceX's commitment to innovation and efficiency, but also reflects the tireless efforts of the entire team behind this groundbreaking rocket. To mark this significant accomplishment, we invite you to join in the celebration by flooding the comments with 100-F9. With this momentum, SpaceX is determined to maintain the Falcon 9's strong performance through the end of the year. So what do you think? Are 48 more launches feasible in this time frame? We'd love to hear your predictions and insights. Your engagement helps foster a vibrant community around space exploration, so don't hesitate to share your thoughts in the comment section down below. Let's keep the conversation going and cheer on SpaceX as they strive for even greater heights. Wrapping up the SpaceX updates, let's take a look at some interesting developments in China with a new SpaceX Dragon lookalike. Chinese startup Deep Blue Aerospace recently unveiled its suborbital vehicle aimed at offering tourist launches beginning in 2027. At first glance, the vehicle closely resembles the Dragon capsule, mirroring design elements like the hatch, engine compartment, windows, and heat shield on the capsule's bottom. The main visual difference, Deep Blue's capsule sports a blue and white color scheme instead of Dragon's black and white. According to Deep Blue Aerospace, this capsule will stand 4 meters tall and 3.5 meters wide, offering 6 seats, 6 windows, and the capacity to carry 1.2 tons of payload with a total mass of 7.9 tons. Capable of reaching altitudes between 100 to 150 kilometers, the capsule will allow passengers around 10 minutes in zero-gravity environment. It is designed for reusability up to 50 times, with tickets priced at 1.5 million yuan, or about $210,000 per seat. Deep Blue Aerospace also introduced the reusable orbital rocket Nebula 1, which is expected to undergo vertical takeoff and landing, or VTVL, tests in November. Visually, Nebula 1 also appears inspired by SpaceX's Falcon booster. The company shared that Nebula 1 will undergo multiple recovery and reuse trials by 2025, followed by extensive tests on their spacecraft rocket combo in 2026. The goal? To validate the safety and reliability of their suborbital system in preparation for commercial suborbital travel by 2027. However, Deep Blue Aerospace isn't the only Chinese entity with ambitions in space tourism. CAS Space, a spin-off of the Chinese Academy of Sciences, is also working on its own crewed suborbital vehicle with a similar aim of operational readiness within a few years. While the plan is undeniably ambitious, many previous Chinese copycat projects have faced significant challenges, often stemming from a focus on mimicking exterior features without fully understanding the underlying technologies involved. This approach has led to a range of setbacks, highlighting the complexities of aerospace engineering that extend beyond mere design aesthetics. As we look to the future, it'll be interesting to see if Deep Blue's rocket system can defy this trend and successfully deliver on its ambitious promises. The coming months will be crucial in determining whether they can translate their vision into a functioning and reliable rocket, setting a new standard in the industry. Let's keep an eye on their progress. One day, I'll be filming videos from space for you. Or even better, you'll be living up there, watching our channel, or maybe we'll even meet among the stars. Sounds unbelievable, right? But today, the first steps toward that reality are happening. Soon, we'll have a true home in space, known as the vast space station Haven 2. And here's the exciting part. This new home will be built and operated with the help of SpaceX's powerhouse rocket, Starship, which continues to reach incredible milestones. The plan is in motion. We have just over a half a decade until the ISS retires, and NASA has selected several projects to replace this legendary station. Interestingly, however, the project making the most positive progress, the VAST space station, is not part of NASA's official program. Currently, VAST is set to launch the first module, Haven 1, next year, and its final design was recently announced. Just days after that reveal, at the International Astronautical Congress of 2024, VAST officially introduced the second module of the station, Haven 2, marking a powerful breakthrough. VAST summarized on X, VAST introduces Haven 2, our proposed successor to the International Space Station, at IAC 2024. When fully built, Haven 2 will surpass the ISS in capabilities and cost efficiency. Haven 2's first module will be operational in 2028, ensuring continued U.S. and international presence in LEO after the ISS's scheduled retirement in 2030. The tweet also included an update with more specifics. VAST stated, future space stations' advanced capabilities projected to surpass the ISS at an unprecedented low cost to government and commercial customers. To achieve this, VAST plans to introduce Haven 2 and launch Haven 1 next year, followed by entry into NASA's commercial LEO destination program in 2026. If successful, VAST would launch the first module of Haven 2 by 2028, ensuring readiness to replace the ISS should Russia withdraw early. In design, VAST emphasizes that Haven 2 is an evolved and NASA-certified version of Haven 1. Haven 2's first module, at approximately 15.1 meters, is set to introduce substantial upgrades over Haven 1's initial design. With nearly double the livable volume, it maintains the same trusted systems, but now includes docking ports at each end for greater mission versatility. According to VAST, the design will accommodate larger payloads and laboratory equipment, and increase operational flexibility, meeting NASA's basic laboratory capabilities for the CLD program and allowing more complex high-demand projects with ample power and thermal regulation. This expanded space not only enhances functionality, but likely brings a host of new features. As hinted in the Haven 1 introduction video, each module will include dedicated sections such as docking port, corridor, crew quarters, common area, domed window, laboratory, and a deployable table, built to support essential activities like eating. sleeping, exercising, communication, and healthcare. The station provides a comfortable, efficient workplace designed to meet all the basic needs for crew members in an environment optimized for productivity and well-being. Additionally, Haven 2 will operate with SpaceX's Starlink, a game-changer for continuous high-speed connectivity, transforming everyday life and research aboard the station. With Starlink, Haven 2 can offer seamless communication with Earth, enhancing real-time collaboration, remote monitoring, and streamlined data transfers, ultimately advancing the scope and impact of research in orbit. VAST's timeline for Haven 2 starts with the launch of its first module by 2028, signaling a transformative era in commercial space station construction. Over the following 2 years, 3 additional modules will be launched and connected to create a linear structure. Each module will feature a consistent design, ensuring cost efficiency while enabling incremental improvements in life support systems, power distribution, and environmental controls. This phased deployment strategy aims to provide a reliable and adaptable environment for astronauts and research teams, continually enhancing the sophistication of the station. Between 2030 and 2032, VAST will expand its station with a 7-meter central core module launched via SpaceX's Starship, followed by 4 additional Haven 2 modules. This core module, essential to the station's structure, will feature advanced airlocks for extravehicular activities, or EVAs, supporting maintenance and scientific research outside the station. Its 4 side ports will connect previously launched modules, creating a robust cross-shaped structure that maximizes internal space. 2 of these modules will have specialized features, one with a panoramic 3.8-meter dome window for stunning views, and the other, inspired by the ISS's Kibo module, will support scientific and industrial payloads with external racks and dedicated airlocks. Upon completion, VAST's Haven 2 station will cater to a wide range of international and commercial clients, including NASA, private astronauts, and global research organizations. Its advanced features, like a spacious 3.8-meter diameter cupola, external payload hosting capabilities, a robotic arm for maintenance, berthing ports for visiting spacecraft, and airlocks for EVA activities, will support diverse mission profiles. Additionally, the planned 16 windows, including dome windows inspired by Haven 1, will offer an exceptional sense of connection to space for crew members and visitors, creating a comfortable and visually stunning work environment. Haven 2's modular design not only provides operational flexibility, but also allows for ongoing upgrades, enabling VAST to adapt to emerging technologies and evolving customer needs. This construction aligns with VAST's goal of setting a benchmark for next-generation space stations. Emphasizing capacity and functionality, confident in its capabilities, VAST has stated, VAST's design is projected to surpass all other proposed on-orbit space stations in terms of volume, functionality, and operational efficiency. By 2032, Haven 2 is expected to be a cornerstone of the low Earth orbit economy, positioning the U.S. and its international partners as leaders in accessible, sustainable, and commercially viable space exploration. To realize this ambitious project, VAST will undoubtedly rely on the support of SpaceX. For launching the Haven 2 modules, the Falcon Heavy will be the vehicle of choice, as its larger capacity is necessary to accommodate the increased size of these modules compared to Haven 1. The core module, with its impressive 7-meter diameter, will be ideally suited for launch by Starship. By then, Starship is expected to be the industry leader, boasting remarkable achievements such as returning humans to the Moon in September of 2026 and facilitating crewed missions to Mars. In addition to these launches, VAST will also require the assistance of the Falcon 9 to deploy Haven 1 next year. The Falcon 9 has established itself as the most reliable rocket available today, ensuring that Haven 1 can be launched safely and on schedule. While VAST has stated that it won't depend on any single vehicle for the station's maintenance and operation, it's clear that the Dragon spacecraft will play a pivotal role. Currently, Dragon is the primary vehicle for transporting crew and cargo to the ISS, boasting an impressive and dependable track record. It is likely to remain the best orbital payload carrier for years to come, so it would not be surprising if the vast space station relied on Dragon for its operations. With limited alternatives available, given that the Starliner program presents significant risks and Dream Chaser has yet to launch, Dragon stands out as the most feasible option. In addition to Dragon, Starship also holds significant potential for operating the station. With its vast payload capacity, it can efficiently support station operations, particularly as it expands to its full size. However, a challenge arises in that Starship's size may render it too large to dock directly with the station. Furthermore, the vast space station will integrate with SpaceX's Starlink system. This system has proven invaluable on Earth and has demonstrated its capabilities in space, particularly during the Polaris Dawn mission. With Starlink's support, communication and research operations aboard the station will become significantly more effective. This integration positions the vast space station as a standout project, elevating it above other commercial stations that have not captured NASA's attention. With such a station, we can be confident that the US will maintain its leading position in space despite challenges from other competitors. While it's hard to see a legendary space station like the ISS retire, it's undeniable that after many years of operation, it has become outdated, relying on cumbersome technology. Recent years have seen frequent leaks, particularly in the Russian segment, underscoring the need for an upgrade. In this context, the ISS faces fierce competition from the Chinese space station Tiangong. Although smaller, the Chinese station incorporates the latest technology and is still in the development phase, suggesting it will compete even more aggressively with the ISS in the coming years. Therefore, a new station featuring updated technology and long-term viability is essential. More than ever, the vast space station is poised to meet these requirements both in terms of timeline and technological advancement. This will be crucial for maintaining our country's presence in space. The first step toward this goal is the construction of Haven 1. As previously mentioned, this module has been released with its final design and is set to launch in the second half of next year, which will bolster confidence in the industry as other stations struggle to make positive progress. Though Haven 1 may not be part of VAST's future large station module, it will serve as a demo station to showcase technology and accumulate experience for operating a larger station down the line. As I've noted, this station will also be instrumental for VAST as it vies for a position in NASA's commercial LEO destination program. Achieving this goal is vital for moving forward with plans for Haven 2. In other words, Haven 1 will lay the groundwork for the Haven 2 era. This is how our future space home will take shape. While the road ahead will undoubtedly be filled with challenges, I have faith in the plans that VAST has developed. With the support of SpaceX, its potential will only grow stronger. We are entering an era where space travel will no longer be exclusive. It'll be accessible to everyone, including you and me. Are you ready? 24 years in the making, and yet Blue Origin still hasn't reached orbit. Many, even loyal fans of Blue Origin, may be feeling discouraged. But the company is determined to make its debut flight next month, and they recently took a major step forward by finally installing the long-awaited BE-4 engine. However, is it really that simple with the FAA still in the picture? And adding to the competition, SpaceX's Starship is gearing up for its next milestone, potentially overshadowing Blue Origin's efforts once again. So what challenges and opportunities lie ahead for Blue Origin and the New Glenn rocket? Since its inception, Blue Origin has faced considerable challenges in reaching orbit, falling short of expectations despite its vast financial resources and high ambitions. This year, however, marked a pivotal shift with a major ramp-up in launch preparations. In 2024 alone, Blue Origin has been rolling out a comprehensive array of steps, releasing and mating critical components, stacking hardware on the launchpad, testing thrusters, forward fins, and landing legs, refining second-stage systems, conducting thorough launchpad assessments, and even deploying their dedicated drone ship for recovery operations. Despite these intensive efforts, one crucial element had been noticeably absent: the BE-4 engine. This long-awaited, much-debated propulsion system, vital for New Glenn's maiden launch, had lagged behind, raising doubts as the launch date neared. Finally, in an exciting development on October 24th, Blue Origin showcased New Glenn's progress with an image of its first stage now fully equipped with 7 BE-4 engines, confirming 7 BE-4s. New Glenn engine installation is complete. Blue Origin CEO Dave Limp acknowledged the milestone, congratulating the engineering, operations, and engine teams. and engine teams and offering more detail. The 7 BE-4 engines will deliver 3.8 million pounds of thrust, with each engine producing 246 tons of thrust as previously disclosed. He also explained that 3 of the 7 engines have gimbal capabilities, essential for controlling New Glenn through ascent, re-entry, and landing phases on the Jacqueline drone ship. Limp emphasized this gimbal capability, along with the landing gear and reaction control system thrusters, are key to making our booster fully reusable. Fun fact, the vehicle's max design gimbal condition is during ascent, when it has to fight altitude winds. This determination to perfect drone ship landings follows SpaceX's recent breakthrough with Super Heavy's daring Mechazilla arm catch, underscoring the new era of innovative landing techniques in spaceflight. Now that New Glenn's hardware has reached completion, Blue Origin is poised to enter the crucial stages of flight preparation, cryogenic tests to ensure the booster can handle extreme cold during fuel loading, static fire tests to verify engine performance while secured on the ground, and wet dress rehearsals to simulate full launch conditions without liftoff. These steps are critical in validating New Glenn's readiness for operational flights. However, Blue Origin's path to New Glenn's first launch is lined with substantial hurdles that will test the company's resolve and technical prowess. While the BE-4 engines are now installed, the timeline is daunting, with just a few weeks to go until the projected launch window. This leaves virtually no room for setbacks. Any issues in the final stages of preparation could lead to a delay that would shake industry confidence in Blue Origin's ambitious promises. Despite the company's confident public statements, this tight schedule underscores the immense pressure to execute every step flawlessly. Among the critical upcoming milestones are cryogenic tests, static fire tests, and wet dress rehearsals, all essential for ensuring New Glenn's readiness. Each test will involve complex validation procedures requiring meticulous system checks to prevent potential in-flight risks. Unlike simpler pre-flight tests, these steps are lengthy and cannot be rushed, highlighting the tension between adhering to the timeline and upholding the precision necessary for mission success. Additionally, recent reports of hardware inconsistencies, while reportedly unrelated to the flight model, have sparked further concerns about consistency in New Glenn's production quality, adding an extra layer of scrutiny to the testing process. Even if New Glenn successfully completes all of these tests, regulatory hurdles could still cause delays. Christian Davenport, a seasoned space industry journalist, recently remarked, "From what I hear, there is good progress toward getting an FAA launch license, but getting it in time for a November launch would be tight." Blue Origin's ties with regulatory bodies like the FAA may streamline the approval process, but securing a license with outstanding test results and documentation might still be challenging under these time constraints. This regulatory aspect highlights an additional risk, as multi-year delays and outstanding hardware tests could push the launch date beyond November. Moreover, any delay would ripple through Blue Origin's mission schedule, impacting future launches, including a high-stakes Mars mission for NASA planned for next year. The Mars mission is especially time-sensitive due to the limited launch windows to Mars, which only open every 2 years. Missing this window could severely impact the mission timeline and cost. Additionally, New Glenn's successful debut is vital to securing its certification for future missions under the U.S. Space Force contract. A launch failure or significant delay would jeopardize these high-value contracts and cast doubt over Blue Origin's reliability in supporting high-profile government missions. Given these insights from Davenport and the intense pace of preparations, Blue Origin's goal of a November launch seems increasingly ambitious. If you share this outlook, type in yes in the comments section down below and add your prediction for when New Glenn might realistically lift off. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel to stay updated on Blue Origin's progress, as well as the broader developments shaping the space industry. Regardless of the exact timing, New Glenn will be up against a formidable contender in SpaceX's Starship Flight 6. Unlike New Glenn's debut uncertainties, SpaceX has quickly advanced to a new milestone, successfully firing Booster 13 only 2 weeks after Starship's 5th launch on October 24th. This progress paves the way for integration tests, preparing SpaceX for Flight 6 while Blue Origin's New Glenn inches towards its debut. Blue Origin had once aimed for New Glenn to fly before Starship's 5th mission, hoping to capture an edge in momentum. but with SpaceX's steady advances, New Glenn risks being eclipsed by Starship's achievements. SpaceX also has a substantial regulatory advantage. Following Starship's recent flight, the FAA confirmed that the modifications requested by SpaceX for Flight 6 remain within the scope of what has been previously analyzed. Effectively, this provides SpaceX the regulatory clearance to launch once all technical preparations are complete, allowing them to press forward while New Glenn's November launch hinges on final FAA authorization. Should Starship Flight 6 launch before New Glenn, it would emphasize SpaceX's operational efficiency, underscoring the flexibility and readiness of its reusable architecture. This would be a significant blow to Blue Origin's aspirations, further highlighting SpaceX's agility in adapting and iterating. If both launches occur close together, Blue Origin's challenges will compound. New Glenn's maiden launch includes the ambitious goal of landing its booster on a drone ship, a technique that SpaceX pioneered back in 2016 with Falcon 9. Although the engineering and logistics behind this maneuver have been extensively refined by SpaceX over the years, it'll be Blue Origin's first attempt, leaving much to be proven. Starship's Flight 6, meanwhile, aims to capture Super Heavy with the innovative Mechazilla arm, a process continually refined since Starship Flight 5, to address parameters and recent issues like booster fires. A successful arm catch would cement SpaceX's lead in the race for reliable, high-frequency reuse, marking a substantial technical leap ahead of Blue Origin's milestone drone ship landing. Beyond these individual launches, the stakes between SpaceX and Blue Origin are set to rise. Early next year, Blue Origin plans to support a Mars mission for NASA, an important milestone that New Glenn must complete to qualify for U.S. Space Force launch certification. Yet, SpaceX is pursuing an even bolder ambition, catching Starship's upper stage, a crucial step toward full rocket reusability. By achieving this, SpaceX would push the industry forward in reducing launch costs, efficiency, and accessibility, potentially establishing Starship as the foundation for Mars-bound missions and beyond. New Glenn's orbital capability, though promising, could struggle to match the pace and scale that SpaceX's architecture allows. With momentum from Flight 5 and Flight 6 on the horizon, SpaceX appears set to solidify its lead in commercial spaceflight. Starship's success would position it as the preferred system for everything from orbital missions to interplanetary travel, achieving cost efficiency and functionality at a scale that may place New Glenn on the defensive. Through its ambitious innovations and rapid pace, Starship could redefine what reusable systems mean for the future of space exploration, marking a new chapter that will challenge competitors to keep up. The future of New Glenn remains highly unpredictable as its debut flight approaches. Blue Origin must accelerate its preparations to ensure readiness in a timely manner, but the FAA's involvement introduces a layer of uncertainty regarding the exact timeline. Any delays in regulatory approval could significantly impact the launch schedule, potentially pushing back what many had hoped would be a groundbreaking entry into the orbital space market. Ironically, Blue Origin has long sought to compete with SpaceX in commercial spaceflight. As the moment of truth approaches, the opportunity has finally arrived, but Blue Origin may not have anticipated SpaceX's rapid advancements with Starship. Recent static fire tests and integration successes highlight SpaceX's progress, making the competition seem more favorable for them than Blue Origin expected. As we enter the final 2 months of the year, it'll be intriguing to see how both companies respond and strategize for the future. Can Blue Origin achieve a successful New Glenn launch, or will it remain overshadowed by SpaceX? This competitive period could define both companies' paths and the future of commercial space exploration, with upcoming decisions likely having lasting impacts on the industry.
Oh, the humiliation!
Starliner is not only grounded once again, but it has also plunged Boeing deeper into crisis, resulting in new financial losses. Additionally, NASA has just delayed the spacecraft's next flight due to a series of ongoing issues. Why hasn't it been canceled? In contrast, New Shepard has successfully launched, but significant challenges are likely on the horizon. Meanwhile, Northrop Grumman has secured a nearly $2 billion contract from the Space Force. It's been nearly 2 months since the Starliner CFT-1 returned, and there is currently no indication of when the next flight will occur. The ongoing delays surrounding Starliner are likely to persist, and it comes as no surprise that these setbacks are resulting in financial losses for Boeing. The company, which the FAA has praised as the safety standard that SpaceX needs to meet, recently reported a $250 million loss related to the Starliner program. This announcement coincided with Boeing's decision under the leadership of new CEO Kelly Ortberg to continue the program despite facing significant criticism. The loss was attributed to issues surrounding the CFT-1 mission. In a filing with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, Boeing stated, "During the 3 months ended September 30th of 2024, we increased the reach-forward loss on the program by $250 million, primarily to reflect schedule delays and higher testing and certification costs." Once again, the CFT-1 mission has not only caused schedule delays, but has also impacted Boeing's financial standing. This is merely one of several losses the company has incurred. As noted in the filing and updated last month, Boeing reported $125 million in losses in the second quarter of this year, preceding the launch of the CFT mission, likely stemming from delays prior to that event. In 2023, Boeing had already reported a total loss of $1.47 billion on Starliner. With the additional $125 million loss from the second quarter, that figure has risen to $1.6 billion US dollars. Now, with the new $250 million loss, the total has increased to $1.845 billion. That's $1,845 million, people. However, Boeing does not appear to be ready to abandon ship. When questioned about the possibility of discontinuing fixed-price programs like the Commercial Crew program, Ortberg asserted, "I don't think that's a viable option for us. Even if we wanted to, I don't think we can walk away from these contracts." Ortberg also made a rather curious statement: "We're better off doing less and doing it better than doing more and not doing it well." Huh? This claim seems misguided, especially regarding Starliner, where doing less has not resulted in positive outcomes. In summary, Boeing and Starliner will continue to participate in NASA's program and are unlikely to abandon their efforts in the near future. As noted in NASA's previous update, while the Crew 10 and Crew 11 missions of Dragon have established their launch schedules and crew members, Starliner 1 remains in a state of uncertainty, with the message looking at windows of opportunity for a potential 2025 flight, pending certification and operational readiness. Originally, Starliner 1 was scheduled for no earlier than the second half of 2025, which will inevitably lead to increased financial losses for Boeing. The company could be on the brink of reaching a $2 billion loss or even more in the near future. Designed to support NASA, Starliner is increasingly resembling a financial black hole. These losses are contributing to a total project loss of $6 billion for Boeing in the third quarter. As a result, there are reports that union workers will soon vote on whether to sign a contract with the company or continue their 6-week strike. This is understandable, as the company's financial struggles cast doubt on its future viability. Returning to Starliner, NASA has indicated that to launch official crew missions to the ISS, Boeing requires, of course, certification. However, following serious issues during the CFT mission, such as thruster malfunctions and a helium leak that left 2 astronauts stranded on the ISS, the likelihood of obtaining certification is lower than ever. Without certification, Boeing may need to conduct another crew flight test, involving more astronauts willing to undertake this risky venture. If that occurs, completing the 6 crewed missions to the ISS, which NASA assigned with a budget of up to $4.5 billion, will become increasingly challenging. Keep in mind, we are nearing the end of 2024, and Boeing has about 6 years remaining to fulfill this requirement. At this point, even completing 1 mission a year seems overly ambitious. This situation highlights NASA's miscalculation in selecting and favoring Boeing a decade ago. In stark contrast, SpaceX's Dragon has been operating consistently, enabling NASA to regain its autonomy in sending astronauts to the ISS, maintaining operations aboard the station, and recently facilitating the rescue of 2 Starliner astronauts. Perhaps if NASA had anticipated this outcome 10 years ago, they would have chosen differently. Now they are left to grapple with the consequences alongside their longtime partner. This obviously raises questions about the FAA's assertion that Boeing serves as the safety standard for SpaceX to meet. What standards are they referring to? Technical challenges, delays, or financial losses? The difficulties Boeing is currently experiencing seem to undermine the FAA's claims, indicating that the agency's evaluation criteria are inadequate. Okay, let's calm down a second here. It's worth noting that despite its influence, the FAA has delayed the Falcon rocket 3 times in 3 consecutive months. Additionally, they have significantly postponed the Starship Flight 5 schedule. Clearly, it may be time for this agency alongside Starliner, the spacecraft produced by its close associate Boeing, to reconsider its role in the aerospace industry. If you share this sentiment, please let me know in the comments section down below. Don't forget to like, share the video, and subscribe to our channel to continue following SpaceX's development journey. With that in mind, let's now explore the new Shepard mission update, which promises to bring exciting new challenges. At 11:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time on October 23rd, Blue Origin successfully launched its uncrewed mission NS-27, sending a new Shepard rocket capsule combination on a brief journey to suborbital space. This marks the 27th mission for this suborbital rocket. Although there are no crew members aboard NS-27, the mission carried 12 research payloads, 5 located on the booster and 7 inside the capsule. Among the notable payloads were advanced navigation systems developed for both the New Shepard and Blue Origin's upcoming New Glenn rocket, as well as 2 LiDAR, or light detection and ranging sensors, designed for lunar operations. The rocket reached a maximum altitude of approximately 63 miles or 101 kilometers before returning for a landing around 7 minutes and 20 seconds later. Approximately 3 minutes afterward, the company's new crew capsule, the RSS Carmen line, made a parachute landing in the West Texas desert. Following the flight, Blue Origin proudly announced, "We just completed our 27th mission, debuting the second human-rated vehicle for the new Shepard program. The uncrewed verification flight sent 12 payloads to space and back, including tens of thousands of Club for Future postcards." Blue Origin's CEO Dave Limp added, "This morning's New Shepard NS-27 flight not only debuted our second human-rated vehicle for the program, but also successfully sent 12 payloads to space and back." However, not everything went smoothly. The launch was delayed by 2 weeks. It was initially scheduled for the 7th of October, but attempts on the 7th and a subsequent date were both aborted due to hardware and GPS issues. This mission also marked the inaugural flight of the New Shepard prototypes, including Booster 5 and the RSS Carmen line capsule. Blue Origin previously stated, "The vehicle features technology upgrades to enhance performance and reusability, an updated livery, and improved payload accommodations on the booster." They also noted that these enhancements expand flight capacity to better meet growing customer demand. Despite the successful launch, the aforementioned challenges indicate that Blue Origin and New Shepard still face significant obstacles ahead. The next launch date has yet to be announced, and it is uncertain whether there will be a crew on the subsequent mission. If the company does not act swiftly, it risks losing market share to emerging competitors. More importantly, Blue Origin is gearing up for its first orbital mission next month with New Glenn. This mission could play a pivotal role in determining the company's future. It'll be intriguing to see how they proceed. Now, let's turn our attention to a significant development, Northrop Grumman's recent contract award from the Space Force. The U.S. Space Force has awarded Northrop Grumman a significant contract valued at $1.8 billion to produce 2 advanced warning satellites designed to detect missile threats, particularly those originating from the Northern Hemisphere. These satellites will be integral to the Next Generation Overhead Persistent Infrared, or OPIR, program, which aims to enhance the U.S.'s capability to identify missile threats from space. With this new contract, the total value of Northrop Grumman's work on this program has increased to $4.1 billion, following a previous award of $2.3 billion in 2020 for development of 2 satellites. The project has now entered a crucial phase, moving from design and development to the manufacturing, assembly, integration, and testing of the satellites and their corresponding ground systems. According to the schedule, the first of Northrop Grumman's satellites is expected to launch in 2028. These satellites will utilize advanced infrared sensors to detect, potential missile launches. Upon detecting a threat, the satellite's communication system will quickly transmit data to ground-based stations for timely analysis and response. This contract extension follows the successful completion of design reviews for both the satellites and their ground systems. It represents a valuable opportunity for Northrop Grumman, potentially enhancing its position in the military payload manufacturing and launch market. However, only time will tell how well they will execute this contract. What are your thoughts on this development? Well, folks, that's about it for today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in, and as always, this has been Kevin from Great SpaceX. Until next time, keep looking up.